welcome back to TIA Talks. My name is Jason, your host. And this week on The Insurance Apprentice, we moved out of the boardroom and we got into the regulatory world at the FSCA. And I thought that was such a cool touch from the show, actually bringing the contestants out of that old mutual office and finally getting them on the road. So thank you, FSCA. With only 5 contestants left, the challenge wasn't about marketing. It wasn't about innovation. It wasn't about sales. It was something that actually touches my heart quite closely, and I think our guests' heart quite closely. But also it's very, very important for our industry. And it was about understanding customers, the fairness, the regulation, and what happens when good intentions are not matched by good outcomes. And perhaps for the first time this season, contestants discovered that knowing the answer and communicating the answer, Jordan, are 2 very different things. So today with me, I've got the FSCA. Vanessa, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, Vanessa, I'm scared. I'm really scared. I'm sitting here and I'm like, whoa. What do I say? What can I say? What can't I say? So let's forget about all the red tape and let's just have a conversation. Vanessa, who are you and what do you do?
So my name is Vanessa. I'm a manager at the Financial Sector Conduct Authority. If you ask me what I do, I take care of customers. If I look at day to day, I have a number of insurers that I supervise. But ultimately, what I'm doing is making sure I steer them in the right direction to take care of customers.
So your clients are insurers?
My stakeholders are insurers.
Oh, yeah. You see, the words are coming out. The definitions are going to happen today. We're going to get all the definitions out of the way. With me, I've got the 2 contestants that were eliminated last week. Jordan, Bheku, welcome.
Thank you, Jason.
It's
Thanks, Jason.
I don't know. You guys look both pretty sad. I won't lie. Like I know that the Insurance Apprentice was a good time and it was you got the experience and stuff, but it's still really crappy getting kicked out, getting eliminated. I'd rather say, especially coming onto a podcast and then having the eliminator as a guest as well, and now you have to face her again. So Vanessa, I'm going to move to these 2 young strapping men, and I'll start with you, Jordan. Before we even get into what you do, who you are, how the show went, I think I want to show you a clip just of how I think the show went.
Standing in front of the judges is always a nervous moment. It's never where you're 100% cool, calm, and collected. So there was a bit of pressure.
Hi, Jordan.
It's simple. A broker's responsibility is to firstly advise and complete a needs analysis and make sure that the advice and offering that you propose to your client meets their needs, not their price points. The appropriate TCF principle should be appropriate product cover provided by the broker. Hence, the loss was not covered. Further to that, effective advice, part of the TCF principle, was not followed, as the broker should have informed the client based on their needs, not based on price.
Okay, your time is up. Thank you.
Leaving the judging room, I felt like I'd done enough. So I was still stressed because you never really know what the judges would perceive from what you say, but you have that level of anxiety and a bit of reassurance that it's something,
We've walked such a long road to get here. The person leaving the competition right now is Jordan. Jordan, you are dismissed.
There's just no emotion. It's sad. I really thought I'd make it through to the end, and to be dropped off on a brief like this, it's disappointing. I'm appreciative of the opportunity. It was an amazing experience, an amazing journey. Looking forward to the next step in my journey, and taking every lesson. I'm grateful to the FA News and TIA and the judging team and the panel and all that I've learned so far, so I'm really grateful.
Okay, Jordan, you said you were sad, and watching you go out was probably my saddest moment on the show. Not because you were my favorite, not because of any of those reasons, but because it was quite a harsh way to go.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I think, Jason, you encapsulated it. I think it was a difficult way to go out for me, knowing that this is what I deal with on a daily basis, knowing that treating our customers fairly is at the core of everything that we do. That's why that level of confidence I had that the technical aspect I knew. And like you put it earlier, it's not just what we say, it's how we convey the message, right? It's vital.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a tough and bitter pill to swallow, but if it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger.
Well, there you go. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And Jordan, what do you do and where are you based at the moment?
So I work for the Teleshow Group.
TIH.
TIH.
Okay, we're not allowed to say that because it's TIA. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
we'll stick to Teleshow.
Yeah, so
Cool.
so I work for Teleshow. I'm in the commercial insurance department. I look after their business operations. So everything between sale and claims falls in my area's operations. So
This was a bitter pill to swallow because I mean,
Very,
you
very,
literally
very.
are in the place where you have to treat customers fairly. You are probably responsible for that role.
yeah,
You know, in all of your processes, your operations.
it's part of our ethos, it's part of our culture. It's embedded in everything that we do, that we ensure that more than just looking after bottom line, that our clients are treated fairly and given every opportunity. So yeah, walking away on what I've been doing for the last 15 years was it was sad.
I thought, Jordan, I thought you were a great contestant. I think before the guests arrived today, I said Jordan was going to arrive in a suit, and he did, because you are a smart individual. I mean, in all sense of the word, Jordan. And I'm not saying that just as a fan or whatever. I've given my honest opinion to every guest chair, and I honestly think that you're a smart individual. You're very clever. I think that came across quite a lot on the show. But what I liked about you was the level-headedness that you had and the way that you conducted yourself. And I have said that to a previous contestant as well. But I really did think it's an understated thing, being level-headed on a show that is full of pressure. So kudos to you, my man. Like, I think you really did a good job there, and you carried yourself well. And I think the biggest thing about TIA is it's a platform. I think Beku, we spoke about it earlier, just before we got on air.
Yeah.
TIA is a platform, and I think you've used it to actually start the next step of your journey in the insurance industry, whether it be at Teleshow, whether it's anywhere. I think that you've started the branding of Jordan. And I think that that's important. So well done on that, my man.
Thanks, Jason. Yeah, I think I'm forever going to be grateful to Rianet, to the TIA, and to FA News for this platform. To your point, it's exactly that. It's the next chapter. It's how we now come out of our silos, come out of where we do all the work and showcase to the rest of South Africa the importance of it and what we can actually offer. And I think sometimes we get so caught up in the day-to-day. We forget about how important that is to advocate, to be ambassadors for doing what's right in our industry.
Advocate, ambassadors. Jordan, you are speaking my language here, my brother. It's a pity you didn't make it to the top 3.
I would have loved it. I genuinely would have loved that last challenge.
Yeah.
The debate. I think that was sad for me. I had the opportunity to watch it. So
I was going to ask you, were you there watching it? Because like everyone knows you're going home, and then you're just like, oh no, I've just got to stare at these oaks, and and the bus only leaves later.
No, I was grateful. It was amazing to see these top individuals debate and really unpack some of the core issues that we face in our industry, and to see it roll out, real time. It was a great opportunity, and yeah, I was heartsore. I really wanted to be in one of those seats.
Did you shed a tear?
I think I did.
Yeah, I cried. Everyone knows I cried. I'm not even going to get onto it. Beku, welcome.
Thank you, Jason.
I'm going to play a clip of you now, because I think that Jordan was obviously hard done by with a 30-second chance to actually get through to the next task. And Vanessa, I'm not even going to come to you yet, because I felt like that was too harsh. Okay, maybe a demerit point or like an audit would have been good, but eliminating. Oh yeah. But Beku, let's see what happened with you, and then we'll jump into.
We are given the task, and it's about the FSCA. So something I do understand well and I'm passionate about. So I don't want to say I'm favorable, but I'm feeling fairly confident. It's just a matter of how I deliver. I'm very much happy with this point because it's 5 minutes. So let's speak to the issue and then we check. Because with the defense, we have to see what's really happening. The judges walk in and I'm happy that the argument statement is coming together. I can see that Vanessa was somewhat taken aback and impressed. I could see that her nod meant that I have hit the mark. When we went in with our argument, I think we had solid points from the both of us.
We do want to raise the question, in your culture, is TCF embedded in your policies, or do you happen to have a profit motive as opposed to be a fair outcomes motive? It's in the sense that complaints resolutions weren't handled internally as successfully as one would think.
All right, top four. It was always coming. We're here, we're at elimination, and we'll find out today who the top three are. Simon? Here we are.
Beko, how was your performance today?
I had some points, but I believe I could have articulated myself better and I didn't quite deliver as I had hoped I would. Pressure really did get to me, so...
You should know this, Beko, that task after task, we've seen some incredible improvements in your performance. And I think that that's a big part of what the show is about. You know, showcasing someone who can be down and pick themselves up and go into the next task and try harder and do better. And I really want to commend you for that.
Thank you, Simon.
But unfortunately, you're with 3 extremely strong individuals today. Beko, I'm afraid you're leaving the competition now. You're dismissed.
Thank you, everyone. I was so close. So close. Nationally top 4, it's okay. For Karabo, Tai, and Asanda, you 3 are amazing. Indeed, throughout the competition, that consistency. I wasn't obviously together with all of you guys, but that consistency, well deserved. Well deserved.
Beku. That was actually like, it's the first time I'm seeing that. And I saw how much this meant to you. Just first, before we even get into who are you, what do you do, where are you? And tell me how much this actually meant to you.
So just to let everybody know, I'm currently a trade credit broker for Marsh. I used to practice accounting, so I was a chartered management accounting, and I did have a short stint in long-term insurance.
Oh, wow.
So when I say that I was really passionate when it came to the FSCA, it really goes back to when I was still a student, whereby the KZN Treasury and the FSB, they actually had, it was like a conference or financial literacy that I actually attended. And that's where you started. Obviously, it's my first exposure. I'm in KZN, and that way this interest sparked. And I've just been following everything related to the FSB and now the FSCA.
Yeah.
So I know insurance supervision, collective schemes. You see the media releases of these brokers. What are they doing, kind of thing. So I actually really went in and confident, but I was like, please help me deliver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the delivery was the only question, really. I don't think your knowledge or your experience was questioned. The pressure kind of just had its toll on you, I think, yeah?
It really did.
It did.
It did. Because I was looking at even walking into the courtrooms, they made the stands like, well, the seats dark.
Yeah.
Then it's just the lights and the judges. And it really got to me. But the 30 seconds, when it came through, when I looked at it, I was like, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Because I branched off the experience from long term. I was like, this is how you answer this question.
Yeah.
And then I put it through and that's it. But when it came to the debate itself,
What do you think the biggest thing in the debate that went wrong? What do you think that was?
So first and foremost is how I articulated myself. It was really under pressure. Like I knew exactly what to say. I had my points there, but I just couldn't speak it out.
Yeah.
And obviously going to the prep session, I think we could have done a better job. I believe we actually would if relations were somewhat better. But yeah.
Yeah, because your team, I mean, it's
FSC.
only 4. So like it's you and who was it?
It was myself, Asanda.
Okay, so you were with Asanda in your group.
Yeah.
And that dynamic, it looked like it wasn't gelling 100%. Vanessa, you picked that up.
Well, the judges all picked it up. When you walked into the room, you could feel the tension.
Oh, really?
and
Sure.
then one of the judges also called it out.
Yeah.
So I
Do you-
think they were just trying to make the best of a bad situation.
Yeah. Did you have any interactions with the Sunday before that?
What kind of interaction?
No, like, I mean, like, okay, well, maybe we're going to dive straight into that one. What kind of interactions?
Okay, so we have worked with on a task with Asanda. So if everybody remembers, we won the Incita challenge together.
Oh, yes.
Then the Brides challenge, we were also together. So Incita, we were fine. I think maybe the fallout came
At the Bride.
at the Brides challenge.
And things now?
Things now,
Yeah.
I think it's just cordial. Yeah, there's no, I won't say it's like bad blood, but it's really
Yeah.
cordial kind of thing. And
Look,
yeah.
I want to also point something out. Everyone thinks that they need to leave friends. You know, it's a wide competition, and we actually don't need to leave friends. We all, it's almost like that. It's not Stockholm syndrome. It's something else that I want to kind of pick up on. But it's like everyone goes through shared trauma, and that is like the common denominator between the group, and then we kind of just become friends because of it.
Yeah.
But in terms of like the reality, I don't think that it's necessary to be friends with everybody.
Yeah.
I think, like, if I look at my season, I have 1 or 2 mates that I really am tight with, but those were out of the 10 that were there, 2 that I'm working with still, and we've got good relationships in the industry now, and we go on hikes, and you know I'm talking about Keb and Rain away. But I mean, my point is, we don't have to be friends with everyone, and I've been seeing a lot of the dynamic get brought up over this season. You know, the group dynamic, the team dynamic, and my personal opinion is, so what? You know, teams will fight, teams will disagree. There will be loud personalities in some episodes or some projects. There'll be, you might be the small personality in the next project, you know, but it really comes down to, okay, can I work with this person now?
Yeah.
You know, and actually the fact that you are cordial now afterwards, it's fine. I don't think that it needs to be even a conversation around it, you know?
Yeah.
Vanessa, what do you think about that?
I think we were talking about it earlier. It's about leaving the room with someone respecting you. What I've seen, and I've been in industry for a number of years, also worked at that insurance company at some point. And what I've seen is that in the industry, you play musical chairs. So you just move to a different company, but it's the same people. And it's your reputation that matters. And I'm reflecting on the conversation that you had initially about this is your first step. And it definitely is. It's a view that everyone in the industry is now having of you. And as long as you carry yourself with integrity in the industry, then you will get longevity in your careers.
100%. I think integrity is something that might not be one of the 3 pillars of TIA, but I think it's something that doesn't have to be said, you know? And I think you both had that. You know, you could see, I'm sitting with you now and I can see the same person that was behind the screen, you know, and that's refreshing for me because it shows me that pressure was there. It hit you hard, but the emotion that came out was actually a little bit of disappointment in yourself, not in anyone else, not in your team, not like you took responsibility for that. And I think reflection is a big thing of this competition. You know, what have you learned out of this competition, Jordan?
Yeah,
Like your biggest lesson?
Take a step back and introspecting. Biggest thing is that when you step out of your comfort zone, it's okay to be uncomfortable. But to the topic that we're speaking about, or the last point was integrity. Always have that. Because, you know, something that was said in the beginning of the competition, if you try to be someone you're not, so at some point, it shows in the cracks. So for me personally, the introspection was just a matter of, it's okay to be uncomfortable with it, but trust yourself. I think for me, that was the lack. Going throughout the episodes, I judged myself too harshly to the point where I was my biggest obstacle. Looking at that last 30 seconds, and it's something we can rehearse back to front. It's in our blood. And to doubt yourself on a delivery that I wouldn't think twice about giving an answer in my
any other
day-to-day.
time. Yeah.
So for me, that was a big thing. Trust yourself. commit to it, if you know you're staying true, in the end, the results will come. So, and that's for everything in life, right? Integrity and consistency. Consistency was another word that was shared. It's part of those pillars of life that I don't think a competition needs to highlight for you.
Yeah.
Okay, Jordan, why didn't he win, Rionette? Like, what the hell? But Beku, on you. I want to say something. I want to say something to you because Simon pointed it out and he said consistency and just trying to show up and actually working on yourself every task to be better. He said something similar to me too. And I just felt like it's sometimes might feel like we're getting the most improved badge, you know, which sounds like not a big thing. But in the space of a few days, to see the improvement from task 1 to getting to the top 4 and getting to that place, most improved is something that, like, I can't even describe it. I think that was a great performance by you. Great job. Like, you competed well. And what you did was maybe beat yourself up a little too much. I think you must have taken what they said and just added it to your arsenal to make sure you were better the next day. So is that what happened?
So very much so. If I could say, maybe I have a story to tell.
Tell us the story. And then we'll get Vanessa to actually talk. Okay.
One thing I can take away from Tia is that I've seen that anything that the Lord puts in your mind or heart, there's something to it and it's worth exploring. And that's what I actually did. So looking at my run throughout the actual show, I remember after the top 20, I was told that, listen, you can go back to Durban, you know, and then we'll come back. But I actually mentioned that, no, I'm here in Joburg. I'll wait until we start. I'm only actually going to leave on that last day.
So you had the faith that you were going to make it.
That was pretty much it. And I remember when we got into the hotels, I literally unpacked everything. And the bags that I came with, I hid them because I said, make yourself at home. That's what I actually chose for myself. And I remember the first person I told that, you know what, I'm really looking forward to this FSCA task was Asanda.
Wow.
When we were actually doing our photo shoots. So that's the biggest takeaway I had. And if you do notice that throughout the 30 seconds, I had no tie. For the courtroom, I had a tie. I kept it in my bag on purpose because I said that, what is it that I can do that will make me stand out or strike differently? So I literally waited. It could have backfired if I went, but I literally kept it in my bag. And I was actually glad because Jordan noticed. He was like, oh, he actually hasn't been wearing a tie and he chose to wear a tie for this last episode.
Wow.
And that's exactly what I actually chose for myself and what I actually wanted to do. And I didn't have a good start. Top 10, I thought I was going to actually go home because I didn't actually get to speak, but I didn't. Then came to the NCTA. Then the Bright task also came. I think my biggest performance or turning points was with the broker AI challenge for Old Mutual, because that day I woke up, I said, I really need to get a praise from Simon and Knox. And I got it because I won the challenge on that day.
Awesome.
So for me, those are the things I'm actually taking away and even going forward, that the stuff that does come into your heart, I want to say heart, it's worth exploring and just give it a try, because it was Soren Kierkegaard. What did he say? Something along the lines of, give it a chance and you may lose. But if you don't try at all, you've already lost. So that was for me.
Yo, Beku, these guys are throwing out so many quotes that I'm getting thirsty because I also am talking way too much in this episode. So let's have a cup of coffee and we'll be right back.
At MyGlass, we've always believed that the service we offer is more than just glass. It's people. From our technicians on the road to the partners who trust us and the communities we care about. It's the people who make a difference. Every chip we fix adds to a bigger picture, one of growth, opportunity, and impact. Because when people grow, communities thrive, and that's the kind of spirit that defines us. Every job, every journey, every glass we touch is a story about care. Because trust isn't built in an app, it's built by people.
Okay, we're back. Vanessa, after that heartfelt moment from Beku and Jordan, let's maybe break them down a little further. Okay. I want to go into the task because I really, for me, the FSCA is the only episode in my season that I didn't watch. because I got kicked out just before. So I would have made it to the FSCA challenge just like you. Actually, I was just before you. So well done. You guys beat me as well. I've just got winners that sit in front of me, to be honest. It's just winners. But I actually never watched that episode because I really thought I would smash the FSCA task. And then Rianette and her team got rid of me in the show. And I kind of had to just kind of watch it on TV, and I never did. Okay. So to this day, the FSCA tasks I'm quite bitter about.
Okay.
However, I've always felt that it is the best task that gets produced on TIA. And I'm not trying to belittle any other sponsors and the guys that put the task together, but the FSCA almost has a mantle in our industry to keep us in check and to also help the industry. And I feel like having it as the task that brings in the top 3 is such a good ode to what the FSCA does. So that being said, what was the purpose behind the task? And why did you guys put together this TCF task? Because we see TCF almost in every season and it comes up over and over again. So what was the purpose of that? Are people just not getting it?
I think it's a bit of that. It depends on the type of insurer. But just to go back to where this task started, it was 3 managers, Tandiwe, who passed in December, my colleague Brenda, and myself. And we sat together and we thought about what are the issues that we have with insurance companies, and what is the message that we want to convey? Where do we see the gaps? And then we spoke about what does vulnerability mean? We spoke about where we see gaps in terms of vulnerability. What do we see as our customer? And we spoke about the taxi driver, our mothers, our grannies, our domestic workers, and we wanted to bring their lives into the light. So we put this together and we thought, okay, what are the things that we are seeing insurers doing that's not good? And we're seeing those outcomes. Things like we don't make the disclosures in a way that the customer understands. Because when you sit in front of the customer, you maybe spend about 20 minutes going through the policy documents with them. But you've learned that there's 4 or 5 instances where you know that customer can fall into a trap. But because you want to make the sale, you don't cover those. You go very fast over those, and then you make the sale. So you make the win for yourself, but then the customer loses. And we also wanted to get the message across that if you continue doing that as an insurer, what happens? At some point, you lose your reputation.
Yeah.
Customers are a lot more knowledgeable these days. They know that they have options. If they don't like you, they will move. We had that conversation just now about your customers and what they didn't like about a particular insurer. So we wanted that message.
We won't mention the insurer?
No, we won't. We wanted that message to also go across that if you want to have a sustainable industry, you need to put a product out there that a customer, that speaks to that customer, and not just something where you're sitting in a room and saying, okay, this looks fantastic, let's put it out there, but something where you go back as an insurance company and you ask yourself, Simon spoke about the mirror, put the mirror to yourself and say, have I really put out something that's really good? And if I haven't, let me go back, let me take the opportunity, ask my customer, do you like my product? Ask my broker, what is your experience? What don't you like? What can you improve? And then along the way, fix that. So even if you start off with something that's not the best, when you end up with that product, you can hand on heart say, we spoke about heart, hand on heart say, what I've put out there is something that I would take myself as a product. So
almost bringing integrity into a product.
Yes. So what we find is that the insurers that get this right are not the insurers that say, oh, there's a product, let me put it out there, let me make the money, let me put all the little
Get
pieces
the actuaries
in place.
together.
It's the insurers that actually start off with thinking, oh, that's my customer. I understand that my customer is a taxi driver. I understand that every day he needs to get from A to B. I understand that he only has a certain amount of money that he can pay towards his premium, but he wants these kind of things covered. And then I go back and I say, okay, is my customer happy? I look at all of my customers and I say, okay, these ones I'm servicing, but these ones I'm not. What can I do better? So we wanted to get that message across that it's an entire value chain. And the insurers that get that right are not the insurers that focus on the product. They actually focus on the people. So like when you talk about your company, when you look at somebody who's picking up the phone and servicing a customer, hello, can I deal with your complaint? Hello, can I process your claim? Sitting there and thinking, in my role, what is it that I can do to make this customer's life better? And ultimately, that speaks to culture. So the insurers that get it right have the right type of culture. And, people ask us as a regulator, how do you test whether an insurer has the right culture? It must be difficult. It's not. Because when we go into an insurance company, we talk to executive, we talk to management, and we talk to our people. I started off in claims. So that's when I say our people.
Yeah. All claims people and underwriters, they all say that. This is our people.
I talk to the people that are servicing my customer. And then I see, are you singing the same song? As soon as there is a different kind of song somewhere, then I know there's a problem with culture. And it's those insurers. When we have the conversation, I think you spoke about the technical aspect and the culture aspect. I cannot tell you how many fights I've had with insurers that go the technical route. They will throw policy documents at me. They will throw legal contract at me. And then I'll say to them, the outcomes. And that's why we spoke to you guys about the outcomes. You can give me this entire story, but tell me how you've achieved the outcome. And then they will look at me and then they will lose words. Those are the insurers that I wanted them to get the messaging that this is what we're trying to convey. Regardless of what you put out there, ultimately, you need to ask yourself, are you achieving the outcome? If you haven't achieved the outcome, you failed my customer.
Sure. So this is what I wanted to ask while you were saying all of that, Vanessa, is actually about the culture that when TCF originally came onto the scene and how that's actually affected culture in the industry. Because I've seen that TCF has affected it in a good way, obviously, on a small scale in my brokerage and via the things that we've had to do, like disclose differently or create a record of advice that is actually easy to understand, all of those type of things. So we've embedded that in our culture. But it took years for us to kind of get that right. And I like what you said, it's the outcomes-based thing. So I see an outcome and I'm like, okay, this is the pillar, this is what we're trying to achieve. And I don't think the FSCA is going to necessarily jump onto my brokerage because we're trying to reach that outcome. I think it's the purpose of not actually going for that outcome that is what you would be looking for. So thank you for nodding. So if we get audited now, I know where to go. But have you seen the change in culture over the last few years in the industry because of TCF?
Definitely, I've seen the change. I think for me, governance has a significant impact. So the tone at the top. When we started off with TCF, it was around 2010. I was still in industry. And I was that person thinking, what is the FSB thinking? They have thrown these principles at us, and now they expect us to try and figure out what's going on in their minds.
The first thing I had to do in the insurance industry was do a TCF policy for our brokerage. That was what I had to build. And I didn't have AI. They just said, here's the 6 pillars, go to a course and put a policy together. I was like, okay. Anyway, continue. Sorry.
So then I joined the FSCA and became one of the crazy ones. And then I realized, how difficult it is for industry to take principles and say, okay, in my day-to-day, what does that mean? So then you would have seen that we started introducing rules for insurers, and we said, when we say you must have an effective claims framework, this is what it means. You must have a claims committee that makes these decisions. You must have an opportunity for the client voice to be heard. So don't just have a head of claims sitting there. Have somebody with the customer voice that is sitting there, that is able to then say, but look, if I put myself in the customer's shoes, I would go in this direction. So it took a very long time for us to get to that point with insurance companies. And you always get the good kids, the bad kids, and the one that...
And the ugly kids.
Is just going to say, I'm only going to comply when the law hits me.
True.
So we had to have different approaches. Okay. We introduced a regulatory framework, but a lot of it was partnering with our insurance companies, and credit to our insurance companies. They worked with us and they asked us, okay, if you're saying that I must make disclosures, what does that mean in reality, tangibly? What must I look for? And we walked that journey with them, And we also introduced a nice, thick, fat reporting return, which I'm sure they are not too happy about. But that return basically has indicators that says, if I'm managing complaints effectively, then these are the outcomes that should come through. If I'm managing claims, then these are the stats that come through. Because you have the numbers people, and then you have the people who think about the outcomes. And we needed to have a language that speaks to both. So once we started talking principles and we started talking numbers and we walked the journey with the insurers, we found that we started turning the tide. So it's been a very long journey, but a very fulfilling journey. I can't tell you how happy it makes me when I go to an insurance company and I can see, okay, the culture is right.
Yeah.
Because for me, it's reassurance that customers are treated well, and it's reassurance that the industry is going to live longer, because a happy customer is a customer that stays.
Yeah.
So we've walked that journey with insurance companies. We are still walking that journey with banks and also with financial service providers.
I like it. FSPs.
And Kofi is coming, but the Kofi flavor is going to be exactly the same as what I spoke about, the fairness outcomes. So it's an exciting time. It's a time of change. And I like what you said about your brokerage. It's not that you're looking at it and you're saying, I'm never going to do it. Even with this task, it was a case of, and sorry to say this, but your colleagues had the harder part in that task.
I wanted to ask the insurer versus the FSCA, which one is the easier one?
Theirs was laid out. They just needed to shoot.
And you still lost, Beku.
Me,
almost stop blaming your teammates.
I'm not blaming her. We just didn't come out all guns blazing, but it was so obvious that they were in the weaker position.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was obvious.
But
And there was a bit of panic with them, And I said to them, look, yes, you've messed up. But now it's about saying, okay, what can I do to fix it? How can I fix it? And you're coming to me as a regulator. And if you tell me that, look, this is the legal interpretation and I've done what I need to do, I'm going to fine you. And I said to them, come to me saying, these are the areas that I've picked up that I need to fix, and show me that you've started fixing them. Then I'll be more inclined to walk the journey with you. So
I love that, Vanessa, where you're like, but I'm going to fine you. like I don't think, can I ask a question just for my own knowledge?
Yes.
So the FSCA, we always hear about these fines and this scary stuff. I'm even getting goosebumps now because it does scare me. Is this a reality that the FSCA is fining FSPs because they're not living up to what they should be? So that's a nod. Okay.
That's a nod, a definite yes.
Yeah.
If you look at the trends in terms of what we're doing in the enforcement space, a lot of it speaks to AML risk, so money laundering risk, and a lot of that relates to our FATF grey listing requirements, and where they came back to us and said that we need to get stronger in terms of enforcement, and that is exactly what we've done. So that will explain some of the enforcements.
Well, that looks
the
like
other ones,
the whole new RMCP and the whole new. So okay.
The other ones are key individual, you're not doing what you're supposed to do. Key individual, you lack honesty and integrity and morality.
And that's one of the pillars. That is a requirement for, what is it? Fit and proper.
Yes.
Here we go.
Because you have this whole army of representatives and they look to you as a key individual for what am I doing right and how am I treating my client. And if you're steering them into the bush, then we need to fine you to say that this is wrong. And if we find that the behavior is so bad that it's something that's impacted a significant number of customers, we're going to have to take you out of the industry. And those are not things that we like to do as a regulator. We want to see businesses thrive, especially small businesses. But for us, it's about making sure that we protect the public at large. So those are steps that we take, and those are steps we are going to continue to take. So that culture drive is very important for your brokerage.
Okay, I keep using my brokerage as an example. FSCA, I'm talking about all brokerages, okay? I'm just speaking openly about, like, just as an FSP, because I'm a key individual, and what you say actually encourages me to actually relook at everything and actually take maybe a fine comb through each of the items that we have. We've just done that with our our FICA, the RMCP and all those things that we had to put in place because we've always done it. We've always try to get to know our clients and see who they are and where they're from and who, like, where does this money come from? But I think having it in your culture is a different conversation. It's not, please send me your ID. It's, okay, who are you? Okay, this is your ID number. Cool. Now I know who you are. This is where you're from. And it creates a different kind of conversation with the client. I wanted to jump into the task, because we have basically broken it down quite well. So I won't read all of it. But part 1 was the TCF principle. So that was where you went out, Jordan. Which principle did you have? I can't remember. Transparency, maybe? I don't know.
think he said he blocked it out.
I'm good at compartmentalizing.
Listen, I don't remember the last 3 days of TIA, so don't worry about it. And it wasn't because I was drunk. Okay, so that is it. Okay, so the TCF principles. Vanessa, do you know all of the principles offhand?
No.
Are there a lot?
No, they're not.
Six.
But I can tell you what it speaks to.
Yeah.
It speaks to disclosures. It speaks to plain language. You wanna come in?
Okay.
Speaks to not having barriers. So
Yeah.
if I want to complain, I must be able to get to you. You know,
Yeah,
we had the conversation about if I need to move a policy for my client or make an amendment.
Barriers to exit and entry.
They need
Product
claims,
design.
complaints. So it's about making sure that customer, whatever rights they have within the parameters of that contract, they are serviced effectively. So I think we gave you guys the principles in the task. And
It looked
I felt
pretty
so
simple.
bad.
Guys, it looked like you had the answers in front of you.
I felt so bad. I just met him and then we had to kick him out. But can I tell you what a trooper he is? After the session, he came back and he shook my hand and he said, "Thank you very much." And I thought, wow, here's somebody that really knows how to separate whatever is happening here with how I need to behave as a human. So credit to you.
Nice one, George.
And sorry, Jason, just to that, and thank you, Vanessa, I appreciate that. But that comes back to what we're talking about, TCF. TCF isn't a thing where you need to memorize 6 different key aspects.
This is exactly why I asked it.
It comes down to a simple thing, because what Vanessa speaks about is the systemic view of business versus a people-orientated service, which is insurance. So if you ask yourself why, and that's where the culture comes to, a top-down approach and a bottom-up approach of why is where we find the consistency. Because Jason, if I have to give you 6 pillars and ask you to memorize it, or the 10 commandments, so it takes long. But if I tell you, treat people the way you want to be treated. If you want to have peace of mind that if today, in good faith, in simple knowledge, I expect a certain outcome if I have an unforeseen circumstance, right? You'd expect that to be fulfilled.
Yeah.
So if you'd want that to be fulfilled for yourself, every single individual you come into contact with, that's what you want.
Yeah, that's your ethos.
That's the
what you-
ethos,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And speaking about the challenge of when it comes to integrity is about there is a bottom line. There is a financial aspect to insurance. But what I've found over the years is that if we focus on the people we service, and we say down to the claims operator, down to the sales operator, to say, you know what, if you were taking this out tomorrow, and if I explained to you the why behind what you're offering, and the ripple effect that in South Africa, a single income can serve up to 6 homes, right? It has a long line effect because SMEs in our country fight tooth and nail every day. Individuals tooth and nail every day to generate the income to do the best for their families, right? And if you'll say that you would take food out of 6 families' households by providing incorrect advice, would that be the reality of the decision you're going to make today? And if we try and have that type of culture, but to say that's a reality shock, because sometimes we desensitize the economics of business so much.
It's a people's game, man.
100%. And I've found over time, I'm not saying just because it's the industry I work in or the business I work in, you know what, you never get it perfect. But over time, if you try to instill that in your people, you have a lot less time that you need to focus on repeating pillars. If you help people and guide them on being better people.
Yeah. I think that's so true, because I think it's not, I've said this many times, it's not who you know, it's how well you know them. And do we know our customer?
Yeah.
Do we actually know who we're selling to?
I'd actually want to chip in a little bit. So obviously I've also been in short-term insurance, but my biggest experience when it comes to TCF was in my long-term space.
Okay.
Yeah, because there you could see like the financial advisors, and I'm a little bit sneaky when it comes to this because I just remember how good financial advisors are. They would wait in line, like for example, people are going to get their pensions in the GPF office. They would wait in line acting as though they're also coming to collect, but the advisors, then they now want to start talking about getting investments, those type of things. And for me,
Vanessa's listening to this, like, no, I want names, I want numbers.
it's okay, Vanessa. I've got, so this is just me.
This is years ago. Years ago.
I'm actually that kind of person. Even I've had people come with me with Ponzi schemes where they're like, and I'll act interested, and it's usually just me wanting to test. Let's see how good you really are.
Do you treat me fairly?
You know, and then I was like, okay, let's talk about an FSP. What's this, an FSP number? What is it? And I'll literally have my tablet or phone, and I was like, no, we're still applying for that license. And I'm like, okay, fine. But for me, the biggest thing that I've always wanted, and the things my mother instilled it in me, is that education and being knowledgeable. Because you very easily can be easily manipulated if you don't know any better. So I always advocate for this, that just really know in terms of, if you're not sure, check with the FSB. What's this FSB? What's there? If you not know, even with reckless trade or reckless credit lending,
You can just do a search.
Yeah.
You can
check.
go in. You can
That's
search
the
it.
thing. And I can, being based in KZN, not just
Lots of
Durban.
those searches.
Those are the things that are there. Even the things, even the FSCA tells you that there's been unclaimed benefits. Just go have a look.
Yeah.
You never
Just
know.
put your ID number
Just-
and check. You
just
never
check.
know.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's a knowledge thing, and that's why I just like to make them more knowledgeable of these are the avenues that are there. And if you're even not happy with the resolution as well, how to go about doing complaints, because they are there. They've now even centralized the ombudsman. Only one that's separate is the phase one kind of thing. Just to have that knowledge, and once you know better, I'm telling you, you are going to do better.
Yeah, because people jump to Hello Peter and they think this is going to help them.
Yeah.
But the actual, and it does. I mean, there are a lot of things that come out of these forums where we can complain, you know. But I feel like that comes about when a complaint is not heard. They go to those platforms because they don't have a platform to complain in the right way.
Yeah.
We've run out of time, actually, because Jordan was super late. So, just kidding. I'm joking, Jordan. But I wanted to end with a couple of heartfelt questions. It's a little bit more emotional and in-depth than just the show and what we do. So I'd like to ask, and Vanessa, I think I'll start with you, because I know that you've got you've got something to say. So when you look at the next generation entering insurance industry, what gives you hope?
So I was having a conversation with my team. We have these team meetings, and I was talking about the show. You guys give me hope. Because when I look at insurance companies, when I look at the board and directors and executive, I mentioned it's musical chairs. I would love not to see musical chairs. I want to see fresh faces, fresh ideas. I mean, you said you've got a finance background.
Yeah.
It's incredible for me to see people coming up in the industry that have the numbers idea, but speak about the voice of the customer. And I saw that coming through so strongly with Tyrell as well.
Wow.
And that is refreshing for me, because I come from an age where when you talk to an actuary, all they look at is the end goal, the numbers.
Yeah.
So please continue, please grow. I actually said to my team, can you talk to your friends and please go and apply to be on that show? Because to see you guys grow over those few weeks so exponentially in terms of how you think,
It's immeasurable.
in terms of how you present yourselves, in terms of how you work with each other, that is incredible skills. That is emotional intelligence that people take like 10 to 20 years to build. So continue doing that, and take people with you on this journey. Nurture them, mentor them, because these faces are the ones that I would like to see when I walk into a boardroom.
Beautiful.
Take heed to that. Thank you, Vanessa.
Thank you, Vanessa. Jordan, if you could go back to the beginning of the competition, what would you tell yourself?
think it comes back to what we spoke about earlier, Jason. Trust in yourself. Steer the course and stay committed. We got to where we are based on the experiences we had. Throughout the competition, keep on learning, keep an open mind, and stay confident and true. And I think for those out there and for the future TIA alumni and candidates, go in. You've put in the work. You understand what you do. When you go there, showcase why you're part of the best of the best in the industry. Showcase your understanding and showcase how it's going to help individuals around them. Like Vanessa said, it's about not just the bottom line.
That's good. Trust yourself. Bheku, what do you hope people remember most about your journey on The Apprentice?
I think the biggest thing, my positive attitude that I chose to carry, because it wasn't easy. It really, really wasn't easy, considering how I thought I'm going. I didn't, and I ended up not going, having a few hiccups along the way with some of the contestants as well. But the attitude that I chose to carry for myself, because that's for me is one of, if I could say, something I embedded in me, that keep that positive attitude. And that's the one that's going to actually take me far, because if I really start complaining and moving down to the darker side, it's a loophole that's very hard to get out of.
You spiral, yeah.
So even when I got eliminated, I remember when I was actually called in for diary session, how quickly that my disappointment didn't linger for longer than it should. Because looking at the contestants, I was like, wow.
They're great.
They were great.
Yeah.
And also to have made it as far, obviously, as I could have, I was like, you know what? It's not that bad. And that's why I was immense every word that I said when I wished the top three well, because they were that great. They were that amazing.
Sure.
Yeah.
You have inspired me, Vanessa, Bheku, and Jordan. You guys have I've really thoroughly enjoyed this conversation. And I just wish you all the best in your endeavors in the future. And I pray that you will use this as a platform to grow your brand and actually take the next step in the industry and to, like Vanessa said, share that with others. I think sometimes we don't share enough of what we know and our experiences to help the next person. I employed an intern, a paraplanner for myself, and I said he has to be better than me. And I will show him how to be better than me. And I think that that's something that we can all take away from this episode. There's so much work to be done, and I think people are the center of almost everything. So this episode reminded us that good intentions matter, but outcomes matter more. In insurance compliance, advice, and customer experience all come down to one thing: trust. And trust is built not only through what we know, but through how we communicate it and how we act and how we serve one another. Congratulations to Jordan and Bheku.
Thank you, Jason.
On a remarkable journey, and congratulations to our top three who will be in TIA talks in the next couple of weeks. So keep an eye out on that as we actually look forward to the next chapter of the Insurance Apprentice. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.